Hi, I wanted to welcome you to the Divorce Planning Podcast. I'm Carri Goldring, and I'm in the mortgage business, and I do planning pre-divorce for people who are either going to refinance their home, do an equity buyout, or plan to purchase a new home and make sure that everything in the divorce decree is worded properly and the numbers and the planning is taken care of so that you can go through the underwriting process smoothly. And I would like to introduce you to other people who are interested in the divorce planning process so you can get a real education of what's involved. Hope you enjoy. Hi, today I have with me Max Katz. And instead of having a professional who is in the divorce process, I have a client of mine who was referred to me by their financial planner and their attorney. And I wanted to introduce Max and have him tell you a little bit about his situation and how he found working with a divorce person who does mortgages helpful to him. So Max, thanks and welcome for being here.
Thanks for having me. My situation is definitely unique and somewhat complicated. But when I was told that I should have somebody talk to me about financial or about my divorce planning and about mortgage specifically, I didn't really know much about selling or buying houses or mortgages at all. And the stuff that I learned from Carri here and that she helped me through really kind of was more it applied to my very complicated situation, but it would also apply if I didn't have a complicated situation. So basically, I was my ex-wife had come to me and said she wanted a divorce, and we of course lived together. So we had a house to sell, and we were going to sell the house and split the proceeds. But I ended up buying. Well, my girlfriend that I had was ended up buying out my ex-wife on her portion of the house and moving in with me from across the country. So that's the shortest way that I could probably put that situation.
That's
Uh,
pretty good.
yeah, exactly. And well, also her ex-husband wanted to move across the country too because their kids were involved in everything. So we needed somebody to kind of our real estate agent had a number of people that she recommended, and including a financial advisor and yourself, and she kind of also was able to help him buy a house too. Everything kind of worked together through this network of divorce professionals. And when you go into a divorce, it's very scary for a lot of reasons because it's expensive, and you're also not only dealing with paying out a lot of money, you're dealing with exchanging a lot of money when it comes to real estate and the stuff that you uh, also the other stuff that you own, and moving costs and all this other costs involved with it, and it can get very foreboding. And to have somebody like yourself who is very calm and bubbly
Thank you.
and just in general, like didn't call with bad news. I never got any bad news from you. And I won't say that you don't give bad news to people. I'm sure you do, but still, it was you definitely helped me through it, and I still, as you know, message you for questions year after I'm divorced. So
Right, which I
uh,
love that you do that. So who was the first person that said you should talk to me? Was it the financial planner or the
I
attorney?
I think it was the attorney, because she has there's different stages of divorce that she brings in professionals with. One of them is like real estate and the financial, and there's also financial planning, and then there's also like family planning and counseling. But thankfully, my ex-wife and I were amicable and still get along very well. Uh, um, and we didn't need much. We didn't need any of the family counseling, but she was the one who kind of has this network of divorce professionals that she calls on, and I mean, I maybe she called the financial advisor and he called you. I don't know how that exactly worked,
I
but
don't remember either.
I don't either. But I thought that that J- what's her name, Jolene. Um, I thought that she called you initially, but I'm not sure. Like I said, she has this she's got this really great business going on where she's a real estate agent, but she if she deals with people that have divorces, people that have divorces, like I said, they're put in these very tenuous situations, and it's very scary. So I was really thankful that everybody involved, including yourself, including Jillian, was very um, just laid back and didn't give me a lot of bad news.
That's
So
fabulous. And did you
yeah.
ever hear of like a mortgage person that specialized in divorce before?
I had no idea. The only people that I thought that specialized in divorce were attorneys. And I had no idea that there's like, and it makes sense, after my ex-wife and I talked about it immediately after we talked to you and we talked to other, Mark and stuff. That makes sense because like I said, there's a lot of money going around, changing hands in this. It costs a lot of money to pay your attorneys. There's often real estate involved. There are kids involved. You need to have a network of people. You can't just have, divorce attorney settles this. And I'm pretty sure that um, we got our real estate agent's name from my ex-wife's divorce attorney, and I know that I got my divorce attorney from her divorce attorney as a referral as well.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is all a network that I had never heard or thought of existed, but uh, really am thankful that it's in place.
Yeah, it makes such a big difference. And a lot of people just think, oh, mortgage, anyone can just do a mortgage. But it was really more than just a mortgage, right?
Well, there was so in the divorce agreement, my ex-wife, at first we were going to split the house and divide the proceeds, but looking at houses in the Detroit area here, I was going to, and the way that the market was and still is, honestly, I was going to have to basically sell my house for uh, twice what I bought it as square foot, but still buy at the same square foot that I'm selling it at. So the math worked out that I would effectively get a half of the house for the same price. And
Hmm.
so rather than do that, since my ex-wife and I are amicable and still get along and everything, we were able to, my girlfriend and I, now wife, now we're married, were able to, yes, I know, it's all very complicated. We were able to convince her to take a buyout, which ended up being a quick claim deed. Uh,
Hmm.
so my ex-wife was bought out for, I believe, 90,000, and then and now she has the money, and my wife is on the mortgage now, is on the deed. So
Right.
she assumed the equity, and you know the investment here is why we did it, because I would have lost all the equity in this house. I would have had almost no equity in the house that I was going to buy. It would have cost a lot for a down payment, plus any moving in costs, all this stuff, and I would have had. Right now, I live in a 2,600 square foot house, not including the basement, and I would have had to move down to a 1,200 square foot house, and the mortgage would have been about the same too.
And we had a
So
lot of logistics to work out, didn't we?
we did because my ex-wife was moving into a place where she was not even paying rent. She was moving into an on-campus housing, but her place was about 900 square feet, something like that. So we had to get rid of all of her stuff. And then we also had my girlfriend at the time, my current wife, was moving from California, and her ex-husband was also buying a place here. They had to move all their stuff across the country. They have two kids that they, so what ended up happening was I flew out there and I drove with her car. We packed up her car with a bunch of stuff, excuse me, and drove across the country on like a 10-day trip. And then, we wanted to have it really, really be nice. And we went to the Grand Canyon and stuff, but we ended up driving through a couple of ice storms because it was in February.
Okay.
It was this whole thing. So then finally we get here, and then we get here on a Sunday, and then she flies out on Monday morning to back to San Francisco. And then on Tuesday morning, she flies back here with her two kids and her ex-husband, no, soon to be ex-husband. Uh, so, and then he flies back the next day and then drives his car back a week later to here.
It was
Uh,
a lot.
yeah, and then, well, then he started renting a place because he couldn't. You can't buy a house sight unseen. Most people don't, anyway. And He had to be here to kind of look at the house, and also his house had to close before he was going to buy a house, and his house wasn't going to close in California until mid-February. So there was a lot of logistics to work out, but honestly, thankfully, my wife's in real estate, and she gave me this little bit of knowledge is that when you're doing a real estate deal, and this little analogy is what I'm going to say about divorce. Everybody wants it to go down. Everybody wants it to happen. Okay,
Right.
so some people they have some conditions, but most people don't want to put up conditions that they think are going to be a barrier to the sale. So even when you have an ex-husband, an ex-wife, current wife, 2 kids from mine, 2 kids from hers, house in California, house here, house to buy here, all of this stuff. Now we've got Mark, we've got Jolene, we've got her agent in California. We've got the divorce attorneys, their divorce attorney. They thankfully only had one divorce attorney between the two of them, whereas Kelly and I, my ex-wife, had 2 divorce attorneys. But whatever, all these people together, you bring them all together, and they all want to make a deal. Nobody
Right.
wants to be the one to say, I'm not going to do this. This is this is a bridge too far. And so that's thankfully what's going on here. And, your demeanor and Jolene's demeanor and the real estate agent that we dealt with California, everybody and all 4 of our demeanors, they all kind of came together to be really nice to each other. And
It's
everybody
easier
wanted,
that way, right?
it
No
is,
one
it
want you
is.
don't wanna cause trouble, and there are some people who like to cause trouble because I think they like to feel like they're doing the greatest thing or saving the deal, but
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's really nice when everybody, like you said, just wants to get it done. Everybody knows their part, everybody knows how to interact with someone else, and understanding the divorce process and not to rush things that can't be rushed make a big difference.
So that's a good point you bring up too about the divorce process is that, like, remember, we were doing this across 2 different states that have wildly different divorce processes. Um, in California, you have to wait 6 months from the date that you declare your divorce. I don't know the exact legal terms, but there is a 6-month waiting period, no matter what. In Michigan, if you do a collaborative divorce, that can actually be brought down to 60 days. It ended up being 6 months for us anyway, because of, again, all the processes that are involved, all the court filings they have to do, and um, in California, this is very legal. I could say it. If you pay $1,000 to a judge, it will expedite your court proceedings.
Wow. Who would have thought, huh?
Yes, and it's a filing fee, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's I was kind of blown away by that, but they don't have that here in Michigan. Still though, they have other processes in place that if the divorced couple wants to expedite the process, and especially in a case with my ex-wife and I, we've been together for 20 years. We had our marriage had kind of run out of steam maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe longer, uh, but a long time ago. And there was nobody in between. There was nothing in the two of us that wanted to like kind of rehash this or bring it back together or anything like that. So
Makes
when you're
it
going
easy.
from, yeah, it makes it a lot easier when kind of everybody involved knows, yes, it's over. We're not trying to pick anything up, and we're not going to try to argue anything. We just want to have a clean break and expedite it as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So when we have that, the lawyers are on the same page as that. They charge us less fees. The judge is on the same page as that. When they're going through the questions, they understand that that when Kelly was answering them, they weren't trying to hem and haw. And that whole process, it just made it kind of easier to get through too.
That's wonderful. And everything now is working out well. You feel a little calmer, like you're not in all that logistical turmoil.
Well, I mean, I do have 4 kids now, so there's logistical turmoil. We have, uh, but it's funny. We have, we get my kids on Monday. Both sets of kids are week on, week off. So we have a week with them, a week without them. My kids, I get them on a Monday, and Sunday's my last day. Her kids, we get them on a Thursday, and Wednesday's the last day. So right now we are in the period from Thursday to Sunday where we have no kids. So we went to a concert last night, and
Wow.
I know, right? And it was a techno concert, even. Like, it's like we're young again. Um, and we have, like, today I'm going to do a bunch of chores around the house. I actually took the day off, so I don't have any kids to watch or anything. But next weekend, on Monday we get my kids, and then on Thursday, next weekend, Thursday to Sunday, we have four kids,
All of them.
all of them. But it's, there's such a wide range of ages. There's a 15, a 13, a 9, and a 3-year-old.
Oh,
So yes, and the 15 and 13 can watch the other two kids if we go out. It's and you know when your kids get into teenage years, they require a different level of attention. You basically are their chauffeur, and they don't
true.
want to talk to you. There's no uh, you know direct attention anymore.
That is, but you know what I like? I like that sometimes the kids are all together. I
Hmm.
like that you have your alone time.
Yep,
And I like that sometimes each of the different sets of children have their own time with you.
that's right. So on Monday to next Wednesday, we're going to be with just my kids,
Yeah, I like,
and yeah, and then the following Monday to next Wednesday will be just her kids.
I
So
think that's awesome
yeah, it is, and we're very lucky that both sets of our exes were okay with this.
for sure.
And but I mean, it's not a real inconvenience for them. They don't have neither of them are with somebody else. I mean, one of them has a long distance relationship, and one of them is just starting to date again. But neither of them have kids that they're taking care of here in Michigan. So as far as their like stepkids or boyfriend's kids or something. So um, that makes it a little easier that they're not demanding us babysit the kids as much as we're demanding it of them.
Mhm.
And also, like, my kids don't need babysitting anymore. They can be home by themselves. They're 15
Right,
and
they're
13.
older.
Yeah, and my son is going to be 16 in May. My oldest son, he's going to be able to drive. Uh,
That's
well, this is, yes, it's great, but this is another like logistical nightmare with insurance. We're getting him a car, plus we have to split out the insurance so my ex-wife can pay half of it. And I called the insurance company yesterday about this to see, like, it's in 4 months. I want to start budget planning and stuff like that. It's
right.
especially if it's going to be an extra 500 a month or something. And she's like, uh, we can't do that until 30 days before. I'm like, great. So I
Right.
don't know how much. Can you give me a ballpark?
No,
Definitely not.
goodness. And I know in Michigan with the way the new car insurance is, it's really weird too in terms of where does the child sleep at night? Whose insurance are they on? Are
Well,
they
it's
driving
actually
someone?
it's tied to the car. So if it's our car, and we're giving him a car, but even if they're not going to make Kelly pay car insurance on my ex-wife. Sorry, there's Kelly is my ex-wife and Kate is my current wife. It's really incumbent on me to not mix those up. But if he takes, let's say we give him, I already talked to her about this, the insurance agent about this, and she said that it's very common for this kind of thing to happen. If we give him a car and we owned the car originally, they're not going to make Kelly pay car insurance on that car because she's effectively not going to drive it, and they're not going to make us pay for him to be on a policy on cars in our house if he's not going to be driving them.
Oh, that's good.
But within reason. Like, if we have a car here that's an automatic and he can drive an automatic and he's here for half of the weeks, they're probably going to charge him for car insurance on it. But if we have a car here that's a stick and she has a car in the other house that nobody drives with her, then they're going to kind of not they're not going to charge us for that. So it's essentially it's going to be incredibly complicated as far as logistically for the car insurance. But what's going to be easier about it is we're not going to have to drive him home from school anymore.
Yeah,
We're not
that'll
going to
be
have to
nice.
drive him to school ever, and also he's going to be able to drive his brother to school. So
Huge.
huge, and um, it's a 25-minute drive for us, and it's always in rush hour. So and especially, like, we live in the north. There's winter here, and there's school days and all. our kids go to 4 different schools. Uh,
Yeah,
and
maybe you
and
might like the chaos.
maybe, I guess, I don't know, it's something, but, the funny thing about the 4 different schools is that they will never go to the same school because of they have,
Agents.
well, they have, separate learning disabilities. So the older one is he goes to Cranbrook. The second one goes to Bloomfield Hills Public. The third one goes to Farmington Hills Public, but it's in special ed. And the fourth one is just in daycare, but will go to Farmington Hills Public, but won't be in special ed. So they're all always going to go to different schools. Now, in 3 years, the oldest one is going to be going off to college. So that's going to be an entirely different set of dynamics. He's going to be most likely going to Purdue, where my ex-wife and myself went to, because he'll be a legacy. He'll get a scholarships for that, and also he wants to be an engineer. It's one of the best engineering schools in the world.
Congratulations.
So hopefully, he's a sophomore now. They accept everybody. It won't be hard for him to get in. Um, Unfortunately, it'll be expensive because of he'll be out of state, but who knows? Maybe he'll do what I did and live there for a year and get in-state residency. So
Oh,
we'll see. We'll see what
nice.
happens. These are all things that we have coming up on the planner. Honestly, if you wanted everything to be less complicated, don't have kids. That's the
But what would life would be boring.
Well, no, you say that, and I look at my friends that don't have kids going to concerts all around the world and doing stuff that I would love to do, but and my wife hates it when I say this. I love my kids to death, but if the genie's granting wishes and we're going back in time and stuff, I don't know. Those concerts are looking pretty good,
I
right?
thank you so much for sharing your personal story and letting me do this with you.
You're
And
welcome.
I continue to wish you good luck. And anytime you need me, I'm here for you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I'm Carri Goldring. And if you ever have any questions regarding mortgage, feel free to give me a call or send me a text message, 248-420-4524. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.